Now I'm in this absolutely gorgeous forest over by Fishing Bridge Campground. I'm in Fishing Bridge Campground. Found this beautiful forest. It's a lovely setting to begin my exploration with you of this idea of Lehi's trail in Saudi Arabia. Now, the Journal of Book of Mormon studies. Now, this particular edition, I have about 10 other editions with me, plus at least another dozen articles out of various editions of the Journal of Book of Mormon studies. These guys have become world class. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but if you're not subscribing to this journal, you're cheating yourselves. You really are. They have phenomenal pictures, maps. They have different articles from geologists, the botanists, the explorers themselves of the Saudi Arabian, Yemen, and Oman areas. It is absolutely a fantastic publication that you really are cheating yourselves if you don't subscribe to this and get the latest updated information. There is a new, couple years old, I don't know if you can see that or not. This is the Journey of Faith. This Journey of Faith from Jerusalem to the Promised Land, produced by S. Kent Brown and Peter Johnson, 2006. Their expedition into Saudi Arabia and Yemen and Oman is absolutely staggering, breathtakingly fabulous. I asked him for permission to use some of the videos. I've been given permission to use some of the artwork, but not the videos at this point. So, along with the DVD, they have the video. They have been there. They have videoed it. They have photographed it. I cannot possibly overemphasize that you must get this information. It is the latest, most up-to-date, interesting information, along with this Journal of Book of Mormon Studies by the Neil A. Maxwell Institute, FARMS. And this is volume 15, number 2, 2006, where they allowed all of the expeditions, the leaders, the groups of the expeditions, to write up their experiences about their travels in this area. And it couldn't be better. It's absolutely magnificent. Plus, they have several other articles by several different archaeologists and Arabian scholars and the geologists, and they have information on the weather and so on and so forth. It's absolutely staggering. It's like nothing I have ever seen. The voluminous amount of information coming out now on the Book of Mormon is a complete avalanche. It is hard to over-exaggerate it. Not only is it an avalanche in quantity, but the quality of this material is second to none. They've been there. They've videoed it. They've photographed it. It's real. The Book of Mormon has now been grounded in fundamental, physical, on this earth, reality. And I'm going to show you their materials. That is really stupendous. So hang on to your hats, cook some popcorn. You're in for a journey just like Lehi and Sariah went on. Now I'm in this magnificently beautiful forest, gigantic trees. It's green. There's an abundant wildflowers. There's an abundance of wildlife. This is the type of landscape that Joseph Smith knew. I mean, you know, the first vision, he went into the sacred grove of trees and so on and so forth. Nothing could be such a powerful, stark contrast as the hot and miserably unpopulated desert of Saudi Arabia. The frankincense trail was not an easy situation. The constant thirsting and almost near starvation, the difficulty of the trek itself. Joseph Smith was not familiar with anything about Saudi Arabia. What he knew, if he knew anything about Saudi Arabia in his day, would have been incorrect anyway, based on just the last, true story here, decade of research by, of all people, LDS scholars. And the Omani government and the Yemen government are thrilled with their discoveries and their scientific analysis of several of the places that they have visited and described in the physical features of the geology, the mineralogy, the abundance of information that they have been giving in scientific papers and research papers to the various governments of those countries. It's a very exciting situation. This is an international affair, in other words, and the LDS scholars are leading the way into this. But this idea of a forest, the whole imagery, doesn't match the first book of 1st Nephi in that Saudi Arabian desert. Joseph Smith couldn't have made up the information. What's interesting now, though, is the information has been discovered in real life situations, in a real life setting, and it matches the Book of Mormon. But let me give you the timeline. I think there's a wonderful article about the beginning with Hugh Nibley's materials on how he began to find the clues in Saudi Arabia, at least in the scholarship. But now we've taken it several steps further and actually taken expeditions there to see what we can find. The matches are absolutely outrageously, incredibly interesting, as I'm going to show you. But first I want to share this outline to show you how the information, the scholarship, and the actual time spent there is on the increase. We are gathering more and more data. More expeditions have been planned. We're not done yet. But what we found with getting there for this first dozen times or so is really impressive. Really impressive. Oh, I'm still in this gorgeous forest. The park ranger just told me that there is a bear that has been being tracked around here, although he hasn't been found yet. Hopefully he won't find me tonight. It's early evening, but I don't see him anywhere. I don't hear anything, so if I get up and start running, I'll try to video him if he shows up. But they estimate his, I've got pictures, his back paw is about, that long. He's a pretty big boy. That's what they're estimating anyway. So, anyway, I'll take my chances because I have something important to share with you. Okay, be real quiet. This bear's coming at me. I've got to watch out. I'm really close. I've got to stop the camera now. This is a really beautiful overview of all of the information that I'm going to share with you. Now, I have the vast majority of these materials. I am in the process of getting the rest of them. Let me show you just how much information is being discovered for the Book of Mormon now that the LDS scholars are beginning to put together. And this is by Daniel McKinley. This is in the Journal of Book of Mormon Studies, Volume 15, Number 2, 2006. For those of you who have already read this, I'm sorry for the repetition. For the rest of you, you really need to start getting these Journal of Book of Mormon Studies. They are the cutting edge of new information on the Book of Mormon, and it is increasing geometrically. It's stunning. This outline, this overline, I'll read the outline and then I'll read some of the highlights of his article that he has, and then his bibliography is there's over 100 materials, 100 works between articles and books that are now available to us that weren't available 10 years ago. Breathtaking. It's incredible. It's fun. Daniel McKinley, this is on page 78, 79, 80, and 81 in the Journal of Book of Mormon Studies. And he shows this timeline. I won't show it to you, but I'll read it to you. In the 1950s, 1950 exactly, Hugh Nibley writes Lehi in the Desert, and it was published in the Improvement era as a series of articles. And then in 1951 or 52, Nibley proposed the maritime plain south of the Kara Mountains in southern Oman as the shore where Lehi's party camped. He did pretty good. He got pretty close based on just the scholarly information that he had accessible to him in the 1950s. None of this was available to Joseph Smith in the 1820s. None of it. Then in 1976, Lynn and Hope Hilton narrow the site of Bountiful to a tiny sickle of land carved around a little bay about 28 miles long and only 7 miles wide. Backed by the Kara Mountains, that location in Oman is now called Salalah. There is a real region of bountiful on the edge of Oman.